At least 61 people trying to reach Europe are known to have drowned after their boat sank in rough seas off southern Italy. At least 12 were children, including a baby and young twins. The coastguard said 80 people had been found alive, including some who'd managed to swim to shore, but it's believed as many as 60 are still missing. Their vessel broke apart while trying to land near a seaside resort in Crotone. It's thought the boat, which left Izmir in eastern Turkey 3 days ago. Rescue workers say it was overloaded with up to 200 people. Vincent McAviney has more.
On Saturday night, another tragedy in the Mediterranean. By dawn, this debris was all that was left of a migrant boat that broke up in rough seas just off the Calabrian coast. It's thought the vessel left Izmir in eastern Turkey 3 days prior, with as many as 150 crowded aboard. But only around 80 survivors washed up ashore near the town of Crotone. Rescue workers struggled in the conditions to rescue bodies from the waves. Dozens, including a baby, are known to have drowned. The regional governor visited the scene.
Calabria is a region that welcomes people. Last year we welcomed 18,000 migrants, but we can't be abandoned by the rest of Europe. This type of tragedy should have been avoided, not lived how we're having to live it today and how we will live it again in the future.
Reacting to the weekend's loss of life, the head of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said EU countries must redouble their efforts to tackle the migration crisis in the central Mediterranean. Among passengers were migrants from Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Despite the dangers, Italy is one of the main landing points for people trying to reach Europe in small boats. Almost 12,000 migrants have already arrived by sea in Italy this year. In 2022, more than 105,000 successfully made the crossing, with over 1,300 dead or missing. Although high, those numbers are down on the 2016 peak, when there were over 180,000 arrivals by sea. The government blames people traffickers and has pledged to stop the boats. Promised safe passage to a better life, the victims of these gangs now lie beneath these sheets. For the survivors, like hundreds of thousands before them, they face an uncertain future. Vincent McAviney, BBC News.
As we heard there, many of the migrants were from Pakistan, and our correspondent Caroline Davis joins us now from Islamabad. So, Caroline, do we know how many of these people were from Pakistan and whereabouts they're from?
And Jenna, a lot of the information at the moment is still relatively unclear. Speaking to official sources here in Pakistan, at the moment they're not even confirming that any people were on board were from Pakistan. Of course, that has been the media reports from Italy. But despite the fact that there's no official reports, no official names being released at the moment, there are already material that is circulating on social media here, on WhatsApp groups, which are images purporting to be of the people who have died in this tragic incident. Showing images of people who are dead and also showing their photographs of their passport, of identification cards. This is, of course, unverified at the moment. It's very difficult to know for certain the individuals that have been involved in this incident. But what is often being pointed to is that many people might be from Gujarat, which is an area in Pakistan where it's quite common to have people being human trafficked out of that area and into other parts of the world, into Europe as well. So at the moment, still a relatively unclear picture, but this is still being pieced together, and the Pakistan authorities say that they are waiting for more information from Italy.
And is this a route that is known that Pakistani people take when they leave the country to try to get to Europe?
A relatively common route through Iran, through Turkey, and then through Greece, rather than necessarily from Turkey straight to Italy as well. But yes, this is something that is a relatively common route. And in terms of the reasons why people might decide to leave, there is an increasingly difficult economic situation here in Pakistan. The inflation rate is incredibly high, well above 20%. And we've also seen a rise in youth unemployment. In the course of the last 10 years, that has risen nearly tenfold. And so many people suggest that the reason why people might take these enormous risks and risk their lives is for a better economic future. And that is the reason why some people take these sorts of very dangerous routes.
You spoke earlier about human trafficking. How big an issue is that becoming in Pakistan?
That has been an ongoing issue here in Pakistan. Human trafficking is something that has been an issue in the past, and of course with a declining economic circumstance, the worry is that that could continue to be a bigger problem as well. And of course this is a particularly large number of people that seem to have died in this particular incident, and there's a large suggestion that there may be tens of people from Pakistan, of course not confirmed, that could have died in this particular incident. So although this is very shocking, it is quite common to hear died in human trafficking incidents coming from Pakistan, people who might have died in containers, people that might have died in shipping incidents like this one as well. And so this is not uncommon to hear about people who have died on these dangerous routes. But of course, if this is in a very large number, then that would be a particularly significant death.
Caroline Davies in Islamabad, thank you very much for joining us.